Just a second. Alrighty. Oh, my mat, my thing. You know, oh my God, guys. How are you? It's all good. My son was texting me as soon as I hit go live. So, needless to say. All right. As always, I am not this fucking. Sorry, he's still texting me. So, my son delivers. Okay. During the holidays, he is he like, this shit that y'all order. He delivers. And so he's just talking about how he gets no lunch breaks, no this, no that. How they overstuff the trucks when they're delivering packages and presents and things like that to you all. And so he's a little like, oh my God, during the holiday season. It's just like uh there's a some things are not so prime. Okay. Sorry, this is what you get today. All right. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. This is why we need unions. Anyways, let's put it there. If it goes off, it goes off, right? All right. So, there goes my hair doing some weird shit. It's the weekend check-in. It's been a week, guys. So y'all know that I have family things going on. It's been a week. So, yeah. I don't care what I do. I still look like Casper. All right, so we're just gonna get started. I'm just changing some things around real quick, y'all. Is that too? Okay, we're fine. I was making sure it wasn't too dark. Yeah, but I really wanted to get on. Next week's gonna be a little weird. It is again in the United States. It's Thanksgiving, and so, but I have a couple of things going on, so I don't know how next week is gonna go. So we'll play it by ear, okay? Alrighty. Here we go. My little spiel is this. You are a sovereign being of your life. You get to determine if, how, when, where, why any of these messages might apply. My recommendation to you is never just Cinderella shit to make it fit. Okay? Okay. Alrighty. It was a lot. I swear to God. Like, I need to figure out how to turn off the Gemini thing, because at no point I'm gonna have to quit using Chrome. They be putting all kinds of shit on there that I give no permission for, and it irritates my soul. Permission might be something. Permission. I don't know what that's got to do. Oh, we're fucking jumping in. Okay. There was nothing and then there was something. This, I picked it up and it just did this. Two of Wands in reverse. They're finishing my sentences. I go, Two of Wands in reverse, and they go, no less. I'm like, now y'all know that they will. It's weird. I'll get a vision of me saying something to somebody. And like it's like they preemptively give it to me. It's not a premonition. I get premonitions on things, but when they do that where I verbatim hear me saying something, and especially if it happens again where it's like I see that like play out, that's their version of, would you fucking say this to them? Like actually say it to them like this in this context. So like let's say I am sometimes I'll see me chatting with somebody that I know uh out at the grocery store, and it's almost like the idea is the very next time I see them, right? Like in whatever encounter it is, I need to say something to them, say this to them. Because I will try to add little things. Like, oh, now's not the time. I'll do it when we have alone time. And no. Or I don't know if this is like the right time, because they're acting like this. And so, anyways, but now they're finishing sentences. Like they want me to, and I don't know why. We'll figure it out. Um, Finishing sentences. I don't know where we're going with all this shit, guys. I don't know. Let's go. Well, I mean, honestly, it's rare. I don't, well, that's a lie. I sometimes get things for random people, but I do not. Here's the thing. I can get information from recently, like, crossed over individuals. I don't like it though. I don't like dealing with energies that feel newer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the more primordial, ancient type of energies, or energies that have never had a human experience. So, like, when spirit's talking to me, I'm not, like, they might give me an inclination. So I'm not quite like her, because she'd be talking to the like passed over. I'm like, and I really do not like tapping into their energy. So everybody's got their little, um, but in the sense that I might see so and so out, I'm like, because there's a lot of times there's shit you also get. You're like, oh, that's none of my business, and they're like, that's none of my business. I'm not saying anything. Sometimes you get shit you don't want to get. You're like, oh, um, I don't care. I don't know how to explain it. Anywho's, yeah, yeah, more of a guy, but I prefer. I will say, they actually want me to take that. Um, I prefer, much like many, for someone to seek me out than me seek them out. I understand in her case. I love her. I understand in her case. I totally get it. Why it's like so impromptu. You know what I mean? Because there's no other time that they would probably seek it out. Um, okay, we're doubling these bad boys up. Um, but it is much better. So if you have somebody seeking you out, I've got a message for you. Just don't. Just don't. I mean, I feel like that should go without saying, but there's really some not smart people out there that are like, oh, you know, sorry, my little tangent. There's something about a Queen of Wands and a Hierophant. The Hierophant feels like a person. And over here, we have the Sun card with the Seven of Swords, and it's kind of like there's some deception or lies or untruths or things that illusions that are not true. Like they're highlighting the Seven of Swords is not true. Like maybe somebody's holding on to some mental thought forms that are not true. That's on the side of the Queen of Wands. On the side of the Hierophant over here, we have the Two of Swords and the Knight of Wands. There is a him and a hawing, is what I heard. A hemming and hawing. Okay. Um, Knight of Wands is taking action. Two of Swords is the uncertainty of doing that. Like feeling like you need to urgently do something, but sitting in the Two of Swords, like being of two minds of something. But also feeling an urgency. Knight of Wands can also indicate like time. Okay, I gotta do something about this lighting. Time frames and shit like that. So it's kind of like he's a bit more unexpected, sudden, that kind of thing. So it would be like on a whim, on a out of nowhere kind of thing. Um, I really get irritated sometimes with how white I am. Apparently, how white I am. Um, and I don't know what lies or or deceit or illusions or false thought forms. The Queen of Wands is believing, but the sun is like, it is so not what you fucking think. It is so much better than what you're thinking. It's like there's lies that she is holding about something. Um, and there's something about with the Two of Swords on this one, it's called Peace Restored. And the idea is like if you would just fucking make a decision and act, something about the Hierophant would feel so much better. Like peace would be restored. I mean, it's definitely shit or get off the pot kind of energy. I find it odd. Okay. I was like, why is the other person a Hierophant and then there's a Queen of Wands? Queen of Wands is kind of like, I feel like sitting pretty because somebody is very much so just standing their ground, really in their power and very much like I don't know, moving in a way that is honoring to themselves is what it feels like. Um, which oh my fucking god. Bottom of the deck is the King of Wands. I don't know why I said it like that. I sounded so dramatic. My bad. Um, I have like too many. Come, okay, so we're just gonna piecemeal it together. Hierophant definitely has an energy of someone being guided, but also the one that's meant to bring something into fruition. Um, really heavy on feeling like I'm getting the Hierophant is not just getting the downloads or getting the intuitive hits, but it's acting on it. The High Priestess is the knowing, the creation, the thought form, the idea, the that kind of thing. But Hierophant is bringing that, putting structure to it, and bringing that into reality. Which is the reason why it depicts like religions and things like that because it's the idea of creating a life external to you that reflects what you believe, who you truly are internally, right? The High Priestess. And so it's one of those things where it's a structure created. And so there's this idea of like action taking, structure building, um, uh, uh, taking action on one's intuitive hits. So this person is in a sense doing that, yet there's something they are not doing that for. It's like once they decide, they'll feel so much better. And it may be like somebody gets a wild hair up their ass, right? Like they decide and all of a sudden, boom, Knight of Wands. It's like such a quick turnaround with it. So spur of the moment, almost like impulsive, like an impulsive decision. Okay. It may seem erratic or impulsive, but with the Two of Swords, there was thought behind that. There was there was a pause. Now that Two of Swords does talk about kind of like going back and forth within a thought form, within something within your mind. However, it's kind of like having to shut that off because they're usually blindfolded, and it's like going within, go tapping into that instinct, letting the instinct or the intuition take over. But again, at the bottom, we have King of Wands, which would be because I was just like, why is there why are we depicting one like the Queen of Wands, the other one the Hierophant? But the Queen of Wands is kind of like in a space of letting things be, really being in a state of just allowance, letting things be exactly what they are without trying to force or change anything, and still remaining really well rooted with herself. Um, Fucking King of Wands. I guess I was supposed to take it. What? King of Wands has such clarity of what he wants. I almost want to put the Hierophant between the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands, like this. Because it's this idea of something that is supposed to materialize. Now, I still feel like Hierophant is like this is the person, but it's also the thing that is meant to come into existence, this like offspring of the Queen and King of Wands that's meant to happen within this reality. It's supposed to become reality. It's supposed to be birth. It's not just something that's meant to remain in the books, so to speak, written but never materialize. It's meant to materialize. Fucking Ace of Wands, Queen of Swords, World. Queen of Swords feels like a third energy here. Because you got the King and Queen of Wands, but we have the Queen of Swords down here sitting below this Hierophant thing. And it's like I wanted to clarify the Queen of Swords. I'm like, why does it feel like it didn't match the reading, and it felt like something was just disrupting the reading. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups, but when I was clarifying the Queen of Swords, it's the Three of Wands in reverse. So waiting for something to come into fruition, it almost feels like this Queen of Swords is acting as a inhibitor or something like a blockage is trying to interject and stop something from coming to fruition. Because it's Ace of Wands with the World card. There's a fiery new beginning that's meant to start as a result of wrapping something up. I remember this back in the summer. Like somebody really trying to elongate or drag something out. Because Ace of Wands is like new life. Think of the wands where like it's a branch and there's like new life coming off of it, right? It's new life to something. It's a new life. Um, which opens up a world of opportunities, but also brings closure to something. I just feel like something about the Queen of Swords doesn't want King of Wands to have this world, this world of opportunities. Like without me, your world shouldn't feel as promising. We have Emperor at the bottom of the fucking deck. So the King of Wands is an emperor, somebody who is really established and worked to build something, which makes sense that they are described by the Hierophant initially. Um, Someone who follows their instinct and follows their see the King of Wands. Okay, this is someone who believes in the spiritual, but doesn't like. I feel like saying they don't like the lingo of spirituality. Um, you know how like some people be like, I'm spiritual but not religious, right? Like they want to emphasize that there's something about them that feels esoteric, I guess, but not be confined to the institutions of religion. It feels a little bit like that. Somebody who absolutely feels connected to something greater than themselves. Because when I Hierophant came out, I wasn't gonna say it. I was like, I'm not doing it. It's also like someone that's almost godly like. And my stupid brain wants to be like, Hercules, Hercules. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. That's me. That's not spirits. It's like, oh my God. But it feels a little like godly like. But not there's a multitude of gods and goddesses, deities, whatever you want to call them. Okay. We're not pigeonholing. It's just something very godly or someone very godly in the sense of like a god, like Horus, Ra, Hades, like a god. Um, Somebody doesn't want now that brings a different understanding. Two swords. We have two swords here. It's like looking and examining at two truths and not being able to come to a conclusion. Always kind of get because the idea when they cross is that the truth is somewhere in the middle, and so like there's a confusion there, which is the reason why they have to rely on their instinct or their intuition. So King of Wands would be somebody who is absolutely connected, but very rooted in this reality, hence the emperor status. I think that's what the Queen of Swords is attached to. But there's this other energy. Can I just be real? It feels like literally it feels like I don't want someone to have it good without me. Like I don't think the Queen of Swords likes the idea that this King of Wands can move on and be happier somewhere else. Like you should be just as miserable as me for this not working. Because it feels like the Queen of Swords is hanging on because somebody's an emperor. But it feels more earthly based attachment than it does like some kind of like spiritual connection or soul connection or you know what I'm saying? We're good together because like there's something that brings status and stability in this world and that's where the we go together kind of comes in. Um and something about the Queen of Swords stands in the way. Now, I'm not one that's like, oh, like no person can really stand in the way unless somebody lets you know what I'm saying? Unless let me rephrase that. 75% of the time, okay? Um, in our day-to-day lives, someone really can't prevent us from doing something. Now, if we were to look across the globe and see the atrocities, we know that it's very true that someone can literally stand in the way of, but 75% of the time in our day-to-day lives, that's not the case. And there just may be something that ignites like passionately. I just get the sense of like passionately. knee-jerk reaction, kind of like impulsively taking action. It's a shit or get off the pot kind of energy. I'm trying to figure out. So it's like the quintessential, like somebody having connections to other people in this world, all the while there's a pull for them to move more in alignment with something more spiritually uh, rooted within them. Um, spiritually, however they want to deem that. Some kind of Queen of Wands is like, I have literally been lying to myself. I have been believing some kind of a lie. I've had some type of thought form that was just an illusion. Um, but the sun indicates that's not true, that it's not an illusion, it's actually the truth that someone is seeing, or how they're perceiving something. And again, on the side, so on the side of the King of Wands is the universe, where like, that's what's right underneath him. That is the wrapping up of something so they can move forward. And then the Ace of Wands is the breath of new life. You know what I mean? Something starting or beginning for the Queen of Wands. So she's appropriately in her energy. Queen of Wands, Ace of Wands, right? Then why do we bring, how in the world can the Queen of Swords be acting as an interceptor to something? She has impacted the pace at which something is able to happen or unfold, the timing of it. Eight of Wands, because this is something that was meant to happen very fast, but obviously Three of Wands in the reverse, something's not coming in, and so she's impacted the speed. She may also be impacting the level of communication with something, um, but more the speed at which something is unfolding. So she slowed some shit down. Hermit. I feel like causing something to. It's okay. So Hermit with the Eight of Wands. So she has slowed something down that's supposed to happen quicker. So she's just interjecting and creating. She won't leave somebody. So she won't leave somebody alone, because there's this idea of the hermit really is like going within. There's this cleansing, purging process that happens in hermit mode. Like this, like a reprieve. I just feel like she won't leave somebody alone. Page of Wands. Again, I feel like an intercepting. Like watching somebody's moves. Um, might be the King of Wands. Watching the King of Wands moves, almost like interjecting a lot and watching. So this no communication has happened. They've stuck to themselves and they've not initiated. That's what it is. Why the fuck does she matter? I don't understand. Because gotta be honest with you, Knight of Swords. But this is trying to pull away from somebody. It does talk about permanent endings, like permanently cutting something or someone out. It is the winds of change. That's what the Knight of Swords is. It's like permanently trying to sever something. It's that pivot, right? I still don't understand. Hanged Man. With a 6 of Wands in reverse. Some fucking way, she's made something take a lot fucking longer than it should have. And King of Wands has kind of like not recoiled, but like recluse, like pulled within hermit mode. Because Hangman is kind of like a long pause that's causing a lack of victory. Like, why? What? Why? Okay. New era elements. Why is the King of Wands doing this? We have 5 of Cups with the 4 of Cups. Like, has encountered so many setbacks and things going wrong that now they're a little apathetic. Why? Here's the thing. I'm just like, how how is the King of Wands giving this Queen of Swords that much space within their world? Like, I feel as if she's taking up space. And to me, it's like you only do that. Like, she can only do that if the King of Wands allows the Queen of Swords to do that. Because, like, let's take a look at this. Queen of Swords. Here she is. See that severed head? That's what it is. And then we have the Fool card coming out. Starting over. Wish fulfillment, 9 of Cups. Taking that leap of faith. If only they would take, he'd take that leap of faith. I feel like, here's the thing. When he finally decides to like really, the World card bring something to end so something can begin. The ending is the beginning is the ending. So it feels like to me, if he would just take a leap of faith towards what he really wants, it would wrap that up. Whatever antics they're pulling, they would quit. But he'd have to be the one to kind of like have the gonads to do that. Like, you need to do that. But like, it's almost like he's not, because she's meddling in some capacity. And I don't know if he's afraid, like she's gonna make things worse. Who is the Queen of Swords to the King of Wands? They were a match at one point. Here's the King of Swords. So an X. Knight of Wands. I'm getting a like a younger energy off of this particular Knight of Wands. This one is giving a different, like, is the I didn't think things through. I went off of passion. I went off of whatever. I was a younger version of me. The King of Wands was a match to this person when they were a younger version of themselves, but they're no longer a match. Why is the King of Wands still giving space to Queen of Swords? 3 of Wands. 9 of Pentacles. Money. There's something to be gained here. We have the 9 of Pentacles, which says gain, and then we have the 3 of Wands, which is some like ships still coming in. What is he gaining from giving her space in his? They came in reverse. So we got the King of Pentacles with the Victory card. It has something to do with money. because it's almost like financial independence, some type of ships coming in, but it's like something happened where they didn't feel like the King of Pentacles. And so they weren't feeling very victorious in having like a good handle on their finances, their material world, their career, maybe. They felt something felt unstable. It's almost like I feel like the need of having to appease somebody because they might create more financial difficulties. So like they're trying to uh uh gain some kind of like financial independence before fully are these two together? Are these two like in a relationship? Let's ask that. Like what is this? Like I feel like not wanting to rock the boat. No, they're not. This is a Knight of Swords that's already been nixed, cut out. But it's almost like placating somebody so they don't create more issues for someone. Having to placate somebody so that they don't have because it impacts them financially. Like I feel like they're trying to get themselves back into feeling like the King of Pentacles. But right now things are still a little wonky. The only thing I can relate to this is like, when you have that family member that loves to start shit, and so you'll just either you give them a little bit of information or you do a little bit of something for just to appease them so they won't, you know what I mean? Throw a ruckus or something like that. Like we've all had like either a parent or a sit like, like somebody the within our circle where it's like if you don't placate them a little bit, then they cause a lot of fucking issues. That's what it feels like. So they're placating somebody to like in what degree though? Because it feels a little too intrusive, honestly. I think the Queen of Swords has some kind of like I sort of just gonna put these back. Okay. Just give me a second. Because ain't no way. Ain't no way. Like, I mean, what's really the truth of this? Let me keep with this. What is the truth of that situation? Because the truth is the Three of Swords. This is not a good situation. There's been a lot of heartbreak. There has been separation. Why does it not feel like just because she's in her realm, why does it not feel like she feels two? Like there's placating somebody, but you still keep them at arm's length. This Queen of Swords feels like she's too involved in the King of Wands. And so I'm trying to figure out why she feels so present in this situation. Literally, the card says interference, y'all. Literally says interference because she's inserting herself. She's trying to make a bad situation worse, I feel like. Ten of Swords. Uh she may be playing off of the like again because of a fear. The King of Wands is afraid that the Queen of Swords is going to pull more shit. And so he's placating her, giving her uh too much influence and like an in his life because interference is like, this is the Eight of Swords, basically. And it's kind of like the fears are kind of like limiting him from doing the things he really wants to. Self-limiting beliefs. Like she's, this idea that she's gonna be able to pull some kind of stunt or do something. Um, I don't know why I feel like it's not just also financial because I feel something with family here, even though I've got nothing to indicate that. But the Ten of Swords is kind of like trying to prevent worst case scenario from things getting worse. Is he gonna because King of Wands? But I feel like if the King of Wands stood their ground and did and stepped into the role of the Hierophant and just followed the steps exactly as they, because I feel like their instinct is saying one thing, but right now they're giving too much to this the thoughts. It's kind of like they're sorry, something was coming up. Well, there's the Queen of Wands. There's Temperance or the Adjustment card. Okay, so what is the Queen of Wands supposed to fucking do in the interim of this bullshit? So King of Wands really just needs to get their fucking act together and just do something about this. Like just literally quit worrying about the worst case scenario and start taking action towards what they really want and desire. Regardless of what, it's almost like self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like building something up in your mind and being so fearful of that. But actually, Queen of Swords would quit some of their shit if the king. I think the Queen of Swords thinks that she's still gotten in. That's why she keeps. She doesn't want the. He's the emperor. He shouldn't be able to move on without me. Um, yeah, it's just the feeling of like I don't know what's transpired between the two of them, but they're most certainly not matched anymore. And the Queen of Swords cares more about, and that's remember I said I was like Queen of Swords cares more about the Emperor is more about the material stuff. It's more of a rooted in what it gives me within my life, the stability and things like that. So she very well may, I don't know what, the only thing I can liken it to is like when you get divorced and like somebody, like say there was like a shared business and like they can like really, you know what I'm saying, and it's like because there's this piece also like um you're only the emperor because of me, or like, so there's just this weird shit going on, and it's kind of like, King of Wands should just get his like call somebody's bluff, act like the fucking emperor they are, do the hierophant thing and create and just say fuck it and keep moving and creating the life that reflects what they really true want and desire. And something about the Queen of Swords would kind of fall away. Knight of Swords. Like, just completely cut her out. Queen of Wands over here is like, apparently I was wrong. Apparently I was believing some bullshit. Apparently I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but you know what? Not gonna take me out of my, like, I'm not gonna stop. She's still very much the Queen of Wands. And the Spirit's trying to let her know you weren't wrong. It's just that this motherfucker needs to shit or get off the goddamn pot. Like, seriously. Over here stuck in the Two of Swords should be the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is, they don't hem and haw. They don't overcomplicate or overthink something. They take action based upon instinct, which is why sometimes it feels impulsive or looks impulsive, but it's not. And they're holding back communicating or moving. This should have moved a lot faster. And I'm like, okay, so what are we telling the Queen of Wands here then? I mean, other than you weren't wrong and the sun's still shining down on your situation, you're still good. But I mean, where does this leave the Queen of Wands then? You're gonna have to give me a fucking deck. I know it's over here, and like none of them will fess up. Golden Universal. I saw the Five of Pentacles, which is like leaving somebody out in the cold. Literally, Five of Pentacles and the Devil. What's your guidance for the Queen of Wands in this situation? I don't think the Queen of Wands understands or knows the full dynamic of what's happening, but I think the Queen of Wands understood that there was some kind of like greater pull to somebody, something spiritually being experienced with another person to whatever degree, um, or feeling at least somewhat spiritually connected to somebody, and they're like, I'm just making up shit in my head. And Spirit's like, you're not, but life is what it is. So there's the confusion on, okay, well then where's that leave me to move forward? Seven of Cups, Eight of Pentacles. Like I'm trying to start a new life because remember the Ace of Wands was right underneath the Queen of Wands. Um so now you're leaving me confused on how I move forward. Eight of Pentacles. At the Wheel of Fortune. Well, something is going to well, I was going to say something's going to change really fast within the Queen of Wands life. But then I got a little like, I don't want to deliver this message because in this kind of energy, when a motherfucker be pulling this shit, and it's like, despite all of Spirit's best efforts to try and, again, I feel like King of Wands is the Emperor and the Hierophant and any other facet, but is acting a little something like right now. There ain't no way because over here we got the. Do feel like something in your life is going to move forward very fast. We have the 10 of Cups with the 4 of Cups. Somebody may not like. I think the Queen of Wands is not going to like. If this King of Wands does decide to shit or get off the, like make a move like it's like they're supposed to, might second guess it because it might come in very quickly. Like things are going to turn around very quickly. Something's turning around quickly. Something's going to start happening very fast. I feel like there's a concern on the Queen of Wands part for the fact that the Queen of Swords, if it ever comes out this Queen of Swords was involved as deeply as she was with the King of Wands, she might be like, hold the fuck up. Because it's the idea of, I obviously don't want to, this is a limbo, apathetic card, like I don't want anything with my current situation or circumstance, the 3 cups. But then we have the proverbial cup coming from the sky, and it's like, I don't know if I want that either. Again, there is going to be a very rapid change that's about to happen, but she's all like, I don't know now if that's what will make me happy. I don't know if this is, what does the Queen of Wands know about this situation? Something's being called into question, I think, which is an even bigger, where does this lead me? What direction do I move towards? How do I proceed on my path? What is changing? Wheel of Fortune. Ace of Swords with the King of Swords. That to me is a decision being made, clarity being had, and something being cut out. So, because he used to be, it's like the end of being the King of Swords, whatever kind of match he used to be to somebody. Because it's like they're not together, but somebody's entirely too involved in this motherfucker's life, has too much of a presence, too much of a pull, too much of influence, and is acting like a interference. Oh, it feels like so here the Queen of Wands is in a very confused state. Communication finally comes in, some kind of like, we got the Ace of Swords with the Eight of Wands. Some type of communication will come in, but then there's this hesitancy. I about whether or not this could happen. Tell me about the Four of Cups. Yeah, there's going to be contemplation. There's going to be like, I don't know. I don't know. I already got to a place where like, oh, I guess I was wrong. There's something about the presence of that Queen of Swords still being somewhat is giving pause to the Queen of Wands. Like, again, still questioning whether she's lying to herself or if she's being deceived or if it's kind of like, um, I think she's in the same energy I am. If a person has that much pull that they can have influence over whether or not you take action towards somebody or whether you're not like, then are you even away from this? It's almost like because she still feels so close in proximity to the King of Wands, it's kind of like there's not enough distance between the two of you for me to want to entertain you. And I just want to say there may be the appearance of something here. Like there was no real like usually there's a clear cut, but like a ending of something and then like some space is given before. It may give the appearance of like still entertaining somebody and then suddenly they're moved on to somebody else. And so it's like there's this I'm hearing the word impropriety. Like I don't like someone's so it's the idea of walking away from someone's past to go to what they really want. There's some legitimate communication offer connection coming through. So it does seem as if that the King of Wands is going to make a decision because King of Swords does make a decision and then takes action. Otherwise, it's just a thought, which is where he's been. This motherfucker's been in his thought. Um, Definitely choosing a new path, clearing the way for that path. Um, but I feel like there's a level of questioning here on the Queen of Wands part already that's like already started. And so it's like, I don't like the way this is unfolding. I don't like how this is looking to me. I don't like the way something because I was under the impression of something else. Like thinking somebody is not with somebody, but then finding out that this person is still very much in their life and having influence over them. Um, but it's not quite like that. There is a real fear here that the King of Wands has of disrupting his King of Pentacles status. Like somebody really trying to he may have several things in the works, like because the Six of Wands. Oh, Six of Wands also talks about like a level of status, a level of like eyes on you, recognition, things like that. And so there may be a sense of like I don't want a big drama because that might impact my King of Pentacles status. That's where the placating's coming in. So somebody doesn't throw a fit publicly. That might be what the worst case, because it would impact their money. It would impact their money. Again, spirits like there is a sense of giving too much credence to that, though. Giving too much credence to that and almost making it a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because the longer they do this, the more they allow this person to feel emboldened, like they can have some kind of influence, and then brings into question if they should have, like if it, So it's just one of those things where it's like the sooner they cut this off, this Queen of Swords, the quicker everything else, because we got the Eight of Wands twice out here, it can happen. But it does put a little rain or poo-poo on the Ten of Cups, according to the Queen of Wands. So there's this question of, because in the Four of Cups, you're looking at the Three Cups, which is your current situation, your current environment, right? Your current life, or this proverbial cup that's coming through. And it's like a choice. While someone doesn't like their current situation, whatever that may be, they're calling into question this next cup a little bit, like, I don't know if I don't know. Again, because they've been in the Seven of Swords. Like, have I been lying to myself? Have they been lying to me? Am I just believing a bunch of dumb shit? Am I just, like, and it puts you in a not a very positive mindset, but it's not. Queen of Wands needs to understand it's not exactly one. It's not that this isn't what you thought it was. It is. Two, it's not that this King of Wands is doing anything like impropriety, like is lying or doing something unsavory. And or that they don't aren't ready for this, right? But it does look like in order to get the Queen of Swords off their back, they're just gonna have to move forward, take this leap of faith, and actually go after what they want. And then it's almost like the beginning brings about the end. I think that this king has attempted on multiple occasions to really get it to just, but this Queen of Swords somehow feels like they can insert themselves in a certain degree and still want to have contact and still be in the King of Wands life. And it's almost giving the energy of like, because you're the emperor, and like we're supposed to. I don't know. I don't know why the Queen of Wands. I mean, Queen of Swords thinks that. I don't know. Anything else? Any other suggestions or recommendations for the Queen of Wands? Because that's kind of, it's going to come into reality, is what they're saying. We got the Ace of Pentacles. That is something popping up and becoming real, not just a potentiality. And it's the Knight of Cups. There is a real. It will happen. There it is. Ten of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. There's just some things standing in the way. Five of Wands standing in the way of this genuine, sincere coming together and creating something for your lifetime. So, like, this is creating a family, and it is indicative of the Ten of Pentacles and Ten of Cups. I'm just going to make sure for the Queen of Wands. Is there a real separate? I mean, we saw the Three of Swords twice because I just saw it at the bottom of that deck. These two are not together, correct? That's what we wanna make sure. These two are not fucking gone. Nice and tarot, and then we'll leave it be. Sometimes we let things be complicated. Can I just say that? And it's like, are the King of Wands and Queen of Swords together in a relationship? I would say no. The reason I say that is because we have the Five of Wands. There's a lot of conflict, a lot of chaos, a lot of arguments with the Chariot. So there's just a lot that's blocking this individual from moving on fully. Like I feel like fleeing completely. Are they romantically involved? I'm gonna fucking keep asking until I cover all the. I feel like saying no, but they're still in communication. Eight of Wands. That's the thing. Do people, and then the Death. Eight of Wands with the Death. This has got to get wrapped up. Something's waiting to come in. This Death card, she's pregnant like she's the Empress. Fucking Tower moment. Tower on the bottom. Words the Wise, King of Wands. Feels like Spirit's plotting some shit. If you don't shit or get off the fucking pot, it's not going to be pretty. Again, something about taking the leap of faith, moving forward, acting on this immediately with moving towards the Queen of Wands is actually, it's almost like this Queen of Swords needs to see that you've truly moved on, that there's no real, you know what I mean? Instead of giving some kind of like, because to not do that, that's when things are going to get bad. Either you do what you need to do to bring about this, or Spirit will, and it's not going to be pretty. The Death with the Tower. It's inevitable, basically. And it's kind of like, so either you can take the steps necessary or Spirit will. And let me tell you, I feel like Spirit's like, I will rip that rug out from underneath you real fucking quick. And I don't, when it gets like that, I'd rather be the one to do it. Like, I got it. I'll handle it. Like, you should have the gonads. And we got the Emperor with the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is standing in your power, having the confidence. You need to fucking step up and be the Emperor right now. Okay? You need to take charge of this situation. Quit pussyfooting around. All right, anything else, Spirit? And we're going to get going. Because your Empress is waiting. Okay. So this feels like a dynamic where there's somebody that's already walked away from something, but hasn't moved towards something. And it's all because of stability, finances, trying to protect the empire they've created. So placating an energy that constantly seems to still be present in their life, and like trying to, doesn't feel romantic at all. Um, but with the hopes, you know what I mean? Someone's hoping. But again, the Three of Wands in reverse was underneath the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is obviously not getting exactly what she wants, or won't be getting it. In fact, she'll be cut out real soon. But I feel like there's this walking a tight wire to try and make sure things work out just so. But at this point, she's going to continue to do that. This gives me the energy of somebody who like you're separated from them, but like she still goes over to your mom's house, and I know that that can work in some situations, but this feels like not for the purposes of I have a close relationship and I don't want to just it is for the purposes of constantly trying to insert herself and have some kind of influence and presence in somebody's life, right? Or like lingering business things that need to be taken care of, or like drawing out something in regards to the finances and things like that, so that there's always an in, there's always communication, there's always like, and again, there must be something riding on the line here with the King of Wands, as far as their empire, something they've built. And so two things are true. They want to move towards somebody, but they also want to preserve something. And so they're trying to use the logic. They're trying to find the in between. But Spirit's like, you need to go follow your instinct. Hierophant, be the one that takes action and creates something based upon your intuition, what it's giving you. And basically, it's saying you need to take the leap of faith, go towards the thing that you really want and desire, and then things will resolve themselves, because somebody will I feel like somebody's gonna have to eat crow, or like there's gonna be pie on their face kind of situation, where it's like they'll be embarrassed that they're still trying so hard. They don't want to look desperate. And it's kind of like, again, they just feel like there's some way in, there might be some way in. And so you entertaining somebody uh in a non-romantic way, but like trying to just appease them so they don't get dramatic with something. Um, again, you don't want a big scene. You don't want eyes on this, whatever's happening. And so you're trying to walk a tight wire, but it's like actually that's not going to benefit you. And in the end, to whoever the king is, Emperor, King slash Hierophant, motherfucker, I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't take heed and you take the lead and act like the fucking emperor you are, Spirit's gonna rip the rug out underneath you. Because what the fuck you mean we've been telling you to do this and you haven't? Because the death card with the tower, that's an ending you don't want. I'm telling you, that's an ending you don't want. And so you trying to make sure that it doesn't look like a big to do, guess what's going to happen? A self-fulfilling prophecy. So this is a word to the wise, to whoever this king is. You pulling this shit thinking that you're placating stuff is actually going to bring about the thing that you don't want. And I know in your mind you're thinking, no, 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 I've got to, no. Because what, on the other hand, Queen of Wands still has Ace of Wands underneath her. Guess who's still going to have their new beginning? Guess who's going to go for their new life? You take too motherfucking long. Not only is shit going to blow up, but you're going to lose the thing that you want. Quit playing games, act like the emperor, and start doing the shit that you should be doing. Okay? You already know. You feel it. It's within you. You're not going to sit here and pretend. I don't care how spiritual you think you are or aren't. You fucking know you are being guided to do something and you're not acting on it. And you know damn good and well what happens when you don't do that. So, um, you're not going to like the way Spirit's going to let something transpire then. Because to me, with a tower, something's inevitable. This ending is inevitable. Just pull the band aid off. Quit with the shit. Alrighty. Um, yeah, it's a collective reading. I'm not doing personal readings. This is just a collective reading. I do collective readings live. So, And I do not pay attention to the chat because when I'm in the middle of a channel, like it disrupts, and then I get like, oh, where was I? And things will go missing. So like once I get to going, I have to keep going unless there's like a natural pause somewhere where I can look at the chat. But generally speaking, no, I just keep going. The chat's there for you to comment, talk amongst yourselves, or for in those moments where I actually am able to pause and kind of like, because we're between thoughts and stuff. But yeah, like I don't when I'm going, I just keep going. So, all right. I feel like I need to do a different reading. I might come back live again because there's something about I don't know why this was needed to be said, but I still feel the energy of like this weekend that may have nothing to do with any of this shit. So you might see me come back on again, because I don't like taking the time to upload shit and everything. That's why I do it live so I don't have to upload it. Yeah, you might see another reading from me guys in just a little bit. So no reading. Did I not? I thought, yeah, I said that. Okay. All right. I hope the message found whoever it's meant for. Hope everybody has a fantastic day. And again, I'll probably come back on just to do another reading. Probably not too long from now, like within the next 15 minutes. But we'll see. All right. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. And I'll see you guys at the next read.